3, 2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinos and Nidorinos, it's KingNido here and welcome to Pewter City, where today the Pewter Stones are hosting the Dooford Combats, who are desperate to get their first win of the season as they start out with Conqueror and Komao, whereas the Pewter Stones are going to start out with Caracosta and Tyranitar. We have two pseudo legendaries on the field at the moment, as Tyranitar with that unnerve ability is preventing anyone from eating their berries, and a blast burn is avoided by Caracosta as Tyranitar goes for the Zing Zap onto Komao. Not very effective as Conqueror goes to the liquidation onto Caracosta. You got to think it would have been much better to go on Tyranitar, but it's still a very good hit as Doom Desire is performed by Caracosta, choosing Doom Desire as its destiny. As Caracosta did that move, Komao performs the Sticky Web, laying the Sticky Web out on the side of the Pewter Stones, trying to slow down any Pokemon who comes onto the field. A Stomp performed by Tyranitar, and Conqueror with the Shockwave onto Tyranitar. Why is it going for the Pokemon that it's not super effective on? Stomping Tantrum by Caracosta onto Komao, and Aurora Veil fails by Komao. Poison Gas from Tyranitar is going to leave both Conqueror, say it however you like, and Komao poisoned in this matchup. Conqueror goes with a Rock Blast. I have confused myself now, and it's a multi-hit move. It's got 3 on Tyranitar, only gets 3 out of the 5 hits. Komao avoids a Blizzard from Caracosta, but Caracosta is able to connect a critical hit on Conqueror there. You surely think that would have eliminated Komao, but speaking of eliminations, Conqueror is taken out of this matchup by that Doom Desire attack that was set up by Caracosta earlier on in the matchup, and Komao taking damage from that poisoning as Poliwrath comes onto the field now for the Dooford Combats. We have 2 Water-type Pokemon on the field at the moment. The Cotton Guard being performed by Komao boosts its defense stats drastically there. And Poliwrath with a Crab Hammer onto Tyranitar gets the super effective elimination. Brilliant start there by Poliwrath as Caracosta performs a Sludge there onto Poliwrath and is left at poison. That is the 3rd Pokemon for the Dooford Combats to be poisoned. 3 out of 3. This is great status condition work by the Pewter Stones, ensuring that all the Dooford Combats are on a ticking clock. And it's Tyrantrum now coming out for the Pewter Stones, immediately being caught in the Sticky Web, having that speed lowered as Poliwrath with a Water Absorb is going to have its health restored. And that is because Komao has performed a Sparkling Aria. That's actually a really fantastic play there by the Dooford Combats, because Poliwrath takes no damage but gets a critical hit on Caracosta, and good damage done to Tyrantrum there as Poliwrath performs a Dig. Again, a fantastic play by the Dooford Combats. Hydro Cannon is avoided by Poliwrath, even though it would have just taken the health boost anyway, and a Court Change by Caracosta is going to move the Sticky Web onto the side of the Dooford Combats. That's a really good play there by the Water Rock type, and there's that Poisoning almost eliminating Komao, and Poliwrath also taking the effects even though it's not visible on the field at the moment. Now Komao performs a Stuffed Cheeks, so it's going to eat that the Leopard Berry that it has, restore its PP as Poliwrath goes with a Dig onto Caracosta and eliminating the Water Fossil Pokemon. Caracosta taken out, and the Dooford Combats taking the lead as a Scald performed by Tyrantrum is going to restore Poliwrath's health to full strength. What are the Stones doing here? But with that said, Komao is eliminated. This is where that status condition, the poison, is really being well utilized by the Pewter Stones. Poliwrath also taking damage from that move. But there's 2 eliminations to a side as Surfetch'd comes out for the Combats, and as Omastar coming out for the Pewter Stones, another Water Rock Fossil Pokemon. And Surfetch'd does immediately get caught in that Sticky Web as Poliwrath performs the Triple Axle, connects with the first one, it's got 2 and it gets stronger each time, and it's got 3. Tyrantrum is eliminated from the matchup with that super effective Triple Axle performed by Poliwrath. A fantastic move to see, and a Quiver Dance now being performed by Omastar there. So it immediately boosted special attack and special defense, as well as its speed. Surfetch'd going with a Will-O-Wisp. More moves, leaving Pokemon with status conditions as Omastar's left with the burn here. Poliwrath with the poisoning. And there's that burn taking effect onto Omastar, as the Dooford Combats were quick to take back that lead, as Call also comes out onto the field of Fire Rock type, and Omastar again boosting its stats, going with the Bulk Up here. This time boosting its physical stats with the attack and defense, getting that nice boost. Poison Powder fails by Poliwrath, and Surfetch'd goes with the wing attack onto Colossal. Not very effective, and a brutal swing by Colossal hits everyone, and almost with that weak armor does have its defense slow, but gets a drastic speed boost there. It is not very effective though on the Doofa combats, as Poliwrath is hurt by the poison, and Amistar continues to be hurt by that burn. Amistar surely the quickest on the field now, and it is, and it goes with a Leaf Edge, going for Surf Edge instead of capitalizing on Poliwrath's water typing, who goes with the Hyper Voice, which is going to hit both Amistar and Colossal, even though it's not very effective on either of them. And Surf Edge, strangely, is setting up a Hail. I wonder if this will actually benefit any side during this match, because everybody's going to take damage from that Hail as a Defend Order is performed by Colossal there, boosting its defense and special defense as everyone takes damage from that Hail. Colossal with that 120 physical defense, so that could be a good boost there, as well as it's got the 90 special defense. So setting itself up to be able to take hits as everyone takes a hit from the Hail, and Poliwrath continuing to take damage from that poisoning. Amistar continuing to take damage from the burn. The status conditions in this matchup are ever present. So Amistar going with the Bone Meringue onto Poliwrath. Multi-hit move. It's got 1. It's got 2. I think the 5 could do it, but it only gets 2 as Poliwrath sets up a light screen to make its side stronger against special moves. Now Surf Edge going with a Shadow Bone onto Colossal. Colossal responds with a Bug Buzz. 2 Surf Edge. That's not going to be very effective on the fighting types, however, as again everybody continues to be damaged by that Hail. And even though the Doofa combats are 0-3, they're still in this match. They're actually leading this match, whereas the Pewter Stones, with a 2-1 record, are actually in 6th place at the moment as Poliwrath hangs on. It looks like it's in it for its last turn though from that poisoning. Amistar with a Will-O-Wisp of its own, so every Pokemon that's appeared for the Doofa combat so far has been left with a status condition. The Pewter Stones are doing great here as a Nuzzle from Poliwrath onto Amistar will be super effective, but doesn't do enough damage, and Amistar with that, again with that weak armor, has its defense stat lowered, but does get the speed boost. Surf Edge now is going to fling its Leopard Berry here at Amistar. They're trying to get rid of the fossil Pokemon here, who proceeds to eat that Leopard Berry, but also proceeds to have its defenses lowered by the combat. Amistar though has the potential to do quite well in this matchup. I just have this feeling, although I could be very wrong and we could see that elimination soon. But speaking of eliminations, Poliwrath is taken out by the Hail that was actually set up by Surf Edge. Surf Edge inadvertently has kind of led to its teammates' elimination, although that poisoning would have absolutely done it if the Hail didn't. Amistar hanging on here in this matchup, but is an easy target for the Doofa combats, who have Blaziken come out onto the field, who immediately gets caught in the sticky web. It's going to be slowed down, so Amistar is actually going to be quicker than Blaziken and immediately welcomes it to the field with a Crush Grip. Blaziken though is going to respond with an Assurance, going for Colossal instead of getting the elimination on Amistar there. And a Kinesis is avoided by Amistar from Surf Edge as a Thundershock from Colossal onto Blaziken doesn't do a great deal of damage, and everybody proceeds to still be hit by that Hail that is coming down on the battlefield at the moment. I do wonder whether or not Amistar can survive this burn here on this field, and it does, but surely that is the last one it'll be able to withstand. So Amistar, setting up for its last move of the match, goes with the multi-attack onto Surf Edge. A great move, because I think that might have left Surf Edge as a target to be eliminated. But the Moonblast from Blaziken will be the thing that finishes Amistar off in this matchup. Magnetic Flux does fail by Surf Edge, and a smackdown from Colossal onto Surf Edge gets Surf Edge out of this matchup, which means we are now down to the final 2 Pokemon for both of these sides as that Hail finally stops over the field. And we in fact have 2 Fire-type Pokemon on the field at the moment, as Mienshao comes out for the Doofa combats, and as Barbaracle coming out for the Pewter Stones, and Barbaracle has that water typing advantage over Blaziken, but instead goes for the Grassy Glide onto Mienshao. A very good hit there as Mienshao sets up for the Meteor Beam. It's going to get a special attack boost here as it overflows with that space power. Blaziken now sets up for the Steel Roller, but it does fail, and Colossal going with the double kick onto Mienshao. A good first hit, and it's followed up by one that is just as impressive. Mienshao already an easy target in this matchup. A Crush Claw from Barbaracle is avoided by Blaziken, and Mienshao with that Meteor Beam is avoided by Barbaracle. Colossal with that Fire typing is going to get a stat boost thanks to the Burning Jealousy from Blaziken, and it's not very effective on Barbarical. Colossal with the Pain Split is going to reduce Blaziken's health and get a bit of its own restored there. Barbarical with the Brine onto Blaziken finishes it off, so Blaziken is eliminated with that super effective move. They did capitalize on that water typing. Great play there by the Stones as Myonshell with the Twister hits both Barbarical and Colossal, and Colossal with the Topsy-Turvy onto Myonshell there is going to reverse all of its stat changes. But Myonshell first is going to go with a Horn Leech onto Barbarical, and a super effective hit gets the elimination. Plus Myonshell gets its health restored there. Barbarical is taken out. It is 1 versus 1. These sides are not letting up as Colossal goes with the Electro Web onto Myonshell. It's going to lower its speed, but surely Myonshell will still be much quicker than Colossal as Myonshell goes with the attack order. This won't be very effective on Colossal. And now we get a time warning, but that doesn't matter because Colossal with the extra Sentry goes and gets the victory. Super effective. Myonshell is eliminated. The Pewter Stones make sure that the Dooford Combats are 0-4 to start off this season, which is a terrible start for the physically offensive side. Pewter Stones move up to 5th place on the leaderboard, keeping themselves in the Masters 8. 1 spot out of an Elite 4 berth this early in the season. But in their next matchup, the Pewter Stones will be facing the Shamuda Keepers. The Dooford Combats will face the Hunliao Cascade. But in our next matchup, the Golden Road Balance will be facing the Lumiose Lightning, 13th versus 16th. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw in this back and forth match, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.